Have you ever thought about locally streaming your games on different devices on a Linux computer? Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to do that, where you can locally stream your games with a piece of software called Sunshine. If we have a look at what Sunshine is, it is a self-hosted game stream host for Moonlight, which you don't know what Moonlight is. It is a GUI application for allowing to use Sunshine, so you can actually see the video feed coming through, and you can plug in controllers and stuff like that. It's really neat. Sunshine offers low latency and a cloud gaming server capability with support for AMD, Intel, and Nvidia GPUs for hardware encoding. Software encoding is also available. So as you can see, this piece of software is really promising, and I have been using it for at least like 6 months now. Randomly, sometimes I'll install it where I want to stream my game to my TV in my lounge room, because I don't know, maybe want to show off some games to the family or something like that on my computer, but I don't want to bring my computer all the way to the lounge room because it's a big PC. So hosting it through locally is really good with this software. So we are going to I'm going to teach you how to set it up in today's video. So the first one is, well, where do you get Sunshine from? Well, it is on a GitHub. I'll provide a link down below where you can go and download it. And to download, of course, if you don't know how to, you just go to releases. And this is where you'll find some releases like pre-release, which I wouldn't recommend getting that. I would recommend that you get either the first release, so the latest one here. You can try out the pre-release, as it may have more fixes. As we see here, there is a lot more fixes, so you can go for that one if you want to. But that could also mean that you may have other issues that may appear, but it does seem like, things like app image, he add needed VAPI libraries for Intel and AMD. So there is some important things here, but we are grabbing the app image. But if you are using the app image as your main package for it, I would recommend that you do get the pre-release and you grab the .app image. But for me, I'm going to grab it through the AUR, so I'm just going to grab the latest release, which includes all the necessary dependencies for you. But if you're like on a Debian based distro, or you're on Fedora, you can grab the .rpm or the .debian for the version of Debian that you're using, or even Ubuntu as well, so then things can work properly on a native package. So like I said, for me, I'm going to go through my terminal and install it because I'm on Arch. So I'm going to do Pyro, Sunshine, and then I'm going to select the first one here, and then select one again, click Y to review it, and then let it install. All right, as we can see here, Sunshine is now installed. So if we do check our application menu, we can see that Sunshine is right here. So that's where we can launch it, and it will be in our taskbar area where we can right click on it and go open Sunshine. Now it says that there's a security risk ahead, but that is perfectly fine. We can go accept risk and continue. And this is where we will create our password and username for logging into Sunshine, so that it's, secure. So for me, I'll make mine. And now that is done, it says success. This page will reload soon. Your browser will ask you for the new credentials. So we do Sunshine and then the password, and there we go. Now we are logged in, and as you can see, we are running the latest stable version of Sunshine, which is 0.23.1. And so I would recommend that you either pin this, make it as a favorite in your browser, or you can just, of course, when you reopen Sunshine every time, you can just right click and go open Sunshine, and then it will just open the page for you automatically. And as you can see here, there is a couple things, like we can go to the Lizard Byte website, we can go to his Discord and GitHub discussion. So if you do have any issues and you've made sure that those issues are not addressed already in the pre-release versions, then you can go and report it on GitHub, or go on Discord and ask for help, or if you want any more knowledge about what other people are doing with Sunshine, then you can definitely go over to those links. So the second page is your pin pairing. So when you have a device that is running Moonlight and you go to pair with the computer, it will have a code that you'll need to enter into this page here, so then you can actually utilize Sunshine on the computer that Sunshine is running on. And then we have the application page where we can create different applications for different scenarios. So it creates 3 defaults here, which is desktop, low-res desktop, and Steam Big Picture mode. Now, what I usually like to use is either the desktop mode or the Steam Big Picture mode, because most of the time, sometimes you have to tab out of Steam Big Picture mode, and it's basically just desktop in a sense. It's just like when you launch Steam Big Picture, it launches Steam Big Picture for you as well. But usually when you tab out, it just goes back to desktop mode. So usually I'll just select desktop mode, but if I want Steam Big Picture mode straight away and I'm not already in it, then I'll just launch into Steam Big Picture mode. Now the next one is the configurations. This is where we can configure all types of different things like the name, the log level, and the maximum connected clients. So we can allow multiple clients if we want to. But it says here that Sunshine can allow a single streaming session to be shared with multiple clients simultaneously. Note, some hardware encoders may have limitations that reduce performance with multiple streams, which is true. If you ever try to record something where you're trying to do multiple recordings, your encoder can get overloaded and then that can cause problems. And then the next one is the input page. So Sunshine does support controllers, which then works in twine with Moonlight. So you can, like, let's say you want to plug in a controller, so the second page is the input page for configuration, where we can plug in a controller / gamepad if we want to, because Sunshine supports that, which works intertwined with Moonlight. And so that means that you can plug in a controller into your laptop or into your phone or whatever device that is, and it will send it through the local network or online, even if you want to do it through the internet, even though there probably would be some latency depending on how the internet is. But luckily it does work really well. So like I'll usually have my 2.4 gigahertz dongle plugged into my laptop with my SN30 Pro Plus 8-bit DO controller, and that works great. I can there's no real big problems when it comes to the input type of stuff, and I'll show that soon on my laptop with the controller plugged in, and it works quite well. But yes, this is supported, and we can configure some things here, like we can enable mouse input or high resolution scrolling support or native pen/touch support. So you can plug in, I guess, a tablet if you want to, like a drawing tablet. I'm pretty sure that's what it's talking about, and you could just use that also natively, which is pretty cool. Now the next part is the audio/video setting, and this is where we get to configure the monitor selection. So on Wayland, when you use Sunshine, it actually doesn't know necessarily the monitor that is the main monitor. So you do have to specify this, which is something you'll have to start up Sunshine, connect it to a laptop or whatever device, and then just keep connecting to it and keep changing the number till you get the right monitor. For me, I think my monitor is like number 1, I think, is the main monitor, and this is like 0, and this is like 2, I think, because I have 3 monitors, so I'm pretty sure it's 1. But yeah, when you do configure it, you're going to have to go through these numbers to try and figure out which monitor it is. On X11, I'm pretty sure it does know what monitor your main monitor is. At least on KD Plasma, it knows, and it will just like automatically just do it. But on Wayland, you do need to specify it, because I guess Wayland doesn't know necessarily what your main monitor is. And we can customize, like, advertised resolutions that you can try, and the advertised FPS. Now you can configure different audio sync or an adapter name, which I don't really know how to configure this, and I don't configure it because it gets the audio correctly. It's my main audio on my audio interface, and it picks that up great. But audio sync, the name of the audio sync used by audio loopback. If you do not specify this variable, Pulse Audio will select the default monitor device. You can find the name of the audio sync using either command pacmnd list syncs grep name, and then that would list it, and then you would grab that and then list it in the audio sync, and then that should work as the default audio sync or audio loopback device. Now the next page is the network. So this is where we can do things like if we want to stream Sunshine over the internet by using UPnP, which if you don't know what this is, if we do search up right now, we go to UPnP. It is the universal plug and play. It's a certain type of network protocol, and then basically what it does is it tries to, like, I guess, automatically sign like IPs. I'm probably getting this really wrong right now, but it does it automatically for you, so you don't have to like do port forwarding or anything like that. Now I do know that UPnP can be a bit of a security risk as well when using it on a router. So like I don't have it enabled, I don't think, in my router right now on my OpenWRT router. I don't think I have it enabled, but it is something you can enable if you want to do it over the internet. And then we also have like the address family, so which IPv4 or IPv6 you want to use. I'm going to use IPv4. You can use IPv6. I'm pretty sure it is enabled, like IPv4 plus IPv6. I have IPv6 disabled right now. It's just not really that important right now, I would say, in the whole internet stuff. So I'm just going to use IPv4. And then we've got the ports here. So this is where we get to configure all the ports for the different things that it needs. Like each one's for, like, like audio, for video, which I'm pretty sure I have it right here, where it says, like HTTPS is for this one, HTTP is for this one, the web's for that one, the video's for that one, controls for that one, etc. And basically what we need to do is, if you have a firewall set up, you do need to allow these ports to be allowed so that the firewall is not blocking them, so that when you stream Sunshine on a device, both the computer and the device you're trying to stream it to both need those ports opened. Now if you're on like an Android device, that should be fine, but if you're on like a laptop or something that's also running Linux, or it's running Windows or something like that, you will need to open those ports up. So for me, like if I go to my firewall here and I open this up, and then for me, I just want to go to my ports here, click add, and then we add the port range and then the protocol that we want to use for that port. So I guess I'll do it right now. So we'll just go through, we'll just add them, and click OK, go to the next one. And you just want to add these through, make sure that they're the right protocol also, so that they just work properly. And I'll also leave the lizard byte port description here linked down below, so then you can add the ports properly. Now, some of the other things I forgot to do when I did the port forwarding was that I changed my connection to the home, because that's a bit more secure, I would say. And then I changed my configuration to permanent, so that the ports that I add through here are permanent. So if you restart your computer, these won't be deleted. Unless you want it to be secure, that you can go back to what it was before, and you can just select that runtime, so that when you restart, those ports aren't active anymore, which just means that it would be, I guess, a bit more secure for you. But if you do want them permanent, so that you just, you don't have to remember to do it, then you can change the configuration to permanent. And if you want, you can change it to home also, which says here, for use in home areas, you mostly trust the other computers or on the networks to not harm your computer. Only select incoming connections are accepted. Alright, and now that that is done for enabling the ports, we should be good to go when it comes to sending a video feed, audio, the controller and all that. I will have to do it on my laptop also, so that it actually just like all cooperates properly. But if we go here, we go to the advanced page here, we also see some other settings like HEVC support, AV1 support, for specific capture method. So if you want to do like nvenc, which is for Nvidia users, or WL-Roots, which is the Wayland compositor, or KMS, which I'm pretty sure is something to do with KD Plasma, and then X11. So we're just going to do auto detect, which is just recommended, and I'm pretty sure it's going to use either WL-Roots or KMS when you're using KD Plasma Wayland, which does work quite well. And then we can force a specific encoder. So there is the Nvidia nvenc, the VARPI, and the software. So for me, I'm going to be using VARPI, but of course I'm just going to leave it to auto detected, because, well, it detects it properly and it uses VARPI really well. And of course, you can configure the nvenc encoder if you are on Nvidia, so we can do the different performance presets, which I would say P7, even though it says the slowest, this does mean it's the best quality, because it works harder on the encoder, so you get a better quality out of it. It's the same thing on OBS. When you have Nvidia, you can do this type of performance presets. So I wouldn't be scared to try P7, because when I was streaming on Nvidia with the P7 preset, I didn't have any issues necessarily, and with the newest let's say with OBS beta, it includes a new feature that allows the GPU to encode by itself and it won't need the CPU. I don't know if that's the same on Sunshine. I'm pretty sure it's not. So it may use a bit more CPU, maybe by like another 1% or so, because it needs to do that on Sunshine, I'm guessing, while on OBS on the newest beta version, it doesn't need to do that because they figured out a way to improve it. But for the P7, I would definitely try that out because it does offer like a really big bump in quality, especially if you're using like H.264, it can just increase the quality by like so much. In the 2-pass mode, I would just leave it on quarter resolution, as that's just based on my research that I've done on some of the other YouTubers that talk about the encoding stuff. It's like quarter resolution is rather just pretty okay. You can try full resolution, but the difference is like you won't see that much necessarily. It's not really that different. It's something you would have to like really look at to see the difference. And when it comes to full resolution versus quarter resolution, there's like basically like no difference. So I would just use quarter resolution, and that's basically it. I don't know if you want to use like QP values or something like that, but I would just keep it basically to these two things that you should be customizing to see like the best quality that you can get out of, you know, when encoding and sending it over like a local or through the internet also. And there is software encoding, so if you don't have WALLPAPER support on your GPU or nvenc support on your Nvidia GPU, then you can do software encoding, which means that it's going to encode on the CPU, and you can change the preset. So look at here, we can do super fast, ultra fast for really fast encoding, but that means the quality is going to be pretty bad. Or we can do very slow, which is, you know, you're going to need a really good CPU to do very slow. So for me, I have a Ryzen 7600. If I was going to do software encoding, I could probably get away with like fast or maybe even medium or even slow. But I feel like when you start playing games, it starts to change frequently and it becomes really hard to use software encoding. So for someone that, like, you know, if you have a really bad or old CPU, you probably just want to leave it on super fast or very fast. But I would just muck around to see which quality and like to see the performance difference that you have when playing different games also, just to see if, you know, the quality improves or if it doesn't. And there is the SW tune, which is zero latency, good for fast encoding and low latency streaming. We have fast decode, allows faster decoding by disabling certain filters, and still image, good for slideshow like content. Brain preserves the brain. So like all these you shouldn't really use. I would probably just use zero latency, as like it says here, it's good for fast encoding and it's low latency for, you know, software encoding. So after you've done all that, you just want to click save and then hit apply, which is going to restart Sunshine. Now the next application that we are going to grab is going to be called Moonlight, which as I explained before, it is the application, the GUI application, GUI software that allows you to connect to a computer that is running a Sunshine instance on that computer. So I'm just going to grab it from Flatpak because, you know, well, there's nothing really special about Moonlight that requires it some special access to something. It only needs to connect to a computer that is running Sunshine. And I've been using the Flatpak version for a long time now, and it works great. So, of course, I am going to do it on my Acer laptop to stream or connect to the computer that is running Sunshine, and then we can actually figure out like which monitor is my main monitor, so that we can actually see like gameplay, for example. And when it comes to using Moonlight, you can configure it a lot. So if you want, you can change the resolution. So you can go all the way up to 1440p or 4K. You can go all the way up to 144 FPS or even custom. And then you can do the video bitrate. So this is where like your local internet might not be as fast when it comes to sending that bitrate, especially if you're sending it over Wi-Fi. That's when it starts to become pretty difficult because most you know, Ethernet cables, they're like Cat 5e or they're Cat 6 or higher, and those do an amazing job because, well, it's basically it's Ethernet, it's a cable, it's going to do really good, really fast, high bandwidth and really low latency also. But through Wi-Fi, that's when things start to get a bit iffy. goofy and your bitrate may fluctuate. So I would just muck around with it and see what you can get out of it. For me, it's always around like 10 to 20 megabits per second I can set it to. But if I go anything like over like 30, that's when I start to see problems. So I'd rather just keep it at like 20-ish or even 10. But that is, the default is pretty low, I would say. And you can change other things like the VSync, the frame pacing, you can enable that. You can change the audio configuration, the GUI display mode, the language, the video decoder, and the video codec. And you can enable HDR, which does say that it's not supported on my PC, probably because I don't have HDR enabled right now. But if your Linux PC does support HDR and you do have it enabled, it should be able to be enabled properly, or something to do with Sunshine, which you would have to go through the documentation to set up HDR properly. And of course you can change like the gamepad stuff, so you can swap AB and XY gamepad buttons. All force gamepad #1 is always connected. You can enable mouse control with gamepads by holding start, which I just did before, and it does work quite well. And there's plenty of other things that you can change. Alright, as we can see here, I do have the Moonlight application launched on my laptop, and as you can see, Arch Linux computer has been detected, and for me, it didn't show up automatically. I had to add it manually by clicking the plus up here, which you do need to find the IP address, which is pretty easy. On your desktop, you just click here, and then you can select a drop down menu and it will show the IP address, and you just type it in and then it should add it, and then it will ask for that PIN number, which you just go up here, you click PIN, you type it in here and the pin pairing, and then after that it should be as easy as clicking on here, and then we got the different options here, so we can click the desktop mode and it should launch into it. If we maximize this, and as you can see, this is the right monitor, which is monitor 1, as I said before. And then as you can see here, so it is working. If we do escape here to exit out, what we can do is we can go to the Steam Big Picture mode, which should open it in the main monitor. It also will have to open Steam for us, so I think it's going to do that for us. It should, and yeah, it did. Alright, as you can see, it is now started up, and we do have my 2.4 gigahertz dongle plugged in, plus my controller. So if we do turn this on, I'm pretty sure Steam should be able to detect it properly. As you can see here, it is currently working, and it's plugged into my laptop, so it's running through the local internet, and we can now launch a game if we want to. So I guess a game we could launch is Elden Ring currently, which at the current moment, Elden Ring did release a new update, which is for the DLC, I'm guessing. And currently the EAC anti-cheat has a problem which the Elden Ring From Software team is fixing currently, but you can still launch it in offline mode. So as you can see here, it's launching properly. And I did play it for around, I think, 5 or 4 hours just before with some mates. But as you can see, it is launching properly, and it is showing it on the screen properly also. If we just skip through here, we can select the save file. As you can see here, the audio is working also. So as you can see, that's the error that comes up. It's inappropriate activity detected. So it thinks that you're like cheating or something, which I'm not. I don't know why I would cheat on Elden Ring, to be honest. That'd be a bit weird, honestly. But as you can see here, we can click continue to load the file save, and it works. We are using VARPI H.264 because my laptop doesn't support HEVC. But as you can see here, it is working, which is pretty cool. And the latency is great as well, I would say. Very, very responsive. And I think Sunshine, the developer, Lizardbite, you've done a great job with this, I would say. And if like I can pull this anywhere. I can go on my bed if I want to play Elden Ring, or if I want to connect it to the TV as well. That is what I was doing, and it works great, I would say. So that's it for this video. I would say it's amazing that we have Sunshine. I want to thank Lizardbyte, if that is the developer who maintains Sunshine most of the time. Thank you for creating this software, because it works wonderfully under Wayland now, and I can just easily stream my games to different devices through the main PC and play whatever games I want. So if you guys did enjoy this video, you definitely can give it a like. You definitely can subscribe to the channel. And also, thank you to my members. Also, a screenshot up of them. And that does it, I would say. We are really close to 5,000 subscribers, which is pretty crazy to think about, that we're already at 5,000 subscribers. So thank you for that. And that's about it for today's video. So I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.